So welcome back to Imperium Gaming. This is Ian speaking. We've got Alex on the left, Cam in the middle and Andy on the right. And we are bringing you a 5,000 point 4-player game of Warhammer 40k 8th edition. And this is the battlefield that we're playing on today. This is a 12 by 4 battlefield. We're playing Dawn of War with some bespoke mission rules. On this table there are 6 objectives. One here and one here in the middle. Then we have 2 more at this end in the middle of the table, one here and one here. And then back at the other end of the table in the middle of this board here and around the side of this one here. So that's the table we're going to be playing on. We don't know who's going to be which sides yet, but we will now quickly go through the mission rules. So that's the mission rules that have been up on the screen now, so hopefully you understand what we're aiming to do. Let's now take a look at the armies. So this is 5,000 points of, are they heretics or are they loyalists? We don't know. Both armies think the opposing army are heretics. Both armies think that they're Alpha Legion that they're up against. I guess that whoever wins will know the final outcome. So we have 2 players, 2 armies. This on the left hand side is Alex's Ultramarines, and he's bringing 3,000 points for this army. Tell us what you've got.
So left there, got Battalion, HQ, you got Tigerius, Captain with a jump pack, 3 squads of 6 Intercessors, 3 squads of 5 Hellblasters,
Ooh.
And a Banner Bearer.
Okay, we don't like Hellblasters, they're horrible.
Lord of War, of course, Guilliman.
Right, you brought Primarch.
Or Primarch.
Okay.
Air Wing at the back, Storm Raven, 2 Storm Talons, an Outrider with a Lieutenant jump pack, 2 squads of Plasma variants, 2 Heavy Bolter variants, and a Cladius Assassin.
So for your side of the army, how many command points have you got?
I've got 11.
Thank you. And then moving across to this side, we have 2,000 points worth of Astra Militarum, Talon to be precise. What have we got, Cam?
Got a battalion detachment, which is 3 infantry squads, both 2 in Chimeras. We've got a Scout Sentinel with a las cannon. We've got a company commander, 2 Crusaders.
Okay.
And then we've got a Supreme Command detachment, which is 3 Lehman Russ tank commanders and a Stormlord.
Okay. And how many command points does this give you?
7.
Thank you very much. So on the other team, on what we think is the loyalist team, we have 2,500 points worth of Custodians. What have we got, Andy?
There's a battalion detachment, 2 HQ choices, Shield Captain in Alaris Terminator armour, Shield Captain on a Dawn Eagle jet bike, 3 squads of 3 Custodians, 2 Venerable Land Raiders, and a Vanguard detachment with a Shield Captain with Guardian Spear, a Vexilla Praetor, Alaris Custodian squad, and 2 Venerable Contemptor Dreadnoughts.
And how many command points does that give you?
7.
Thank you. And then moving over to my army, I'm playing Crimson Fists. I have a battalion detachment and Outrider detachment. I'm running 4 squads of 5 Crimson Fists, Tactical Marines. I've got a Devastator squad, Land Raider, 5 Razorbacks, 4 of them with Twin Las, 1 with Twin Assaults. I have a Whirlwind, 3 double Heavy Bolter Land Speeders. I also have a couple of Venerable Dreadnoughts and an Apothecary, a Lieutenant, Captain and Pedro Cantor to lead. So I also have 7 command points. The interesting thing in this game is the command points that I have can only be used for me, and Andy's only for Andy, and so on and so forth. So here we are after deployment with the Ultramarines and Talon all the way down the length, and then a very strong castle obviously in this building with Guilliman skulking at the back. But is it Guilliman or is it Omegan or Alfarius or whoever it is that's still alive from the Alpha Legion? Because that's who we think it is. So there's lots here, a couple more vehicles back here. We've also then got to counter that, and we've been doing alternating deployment. We have a line of gold and blue right the way down the battlefield here. So all we've got to determine now is who goes first. So the special rules in this game are both players from both sides roll their dice, add them together, and then we had secret orders to begin with. If we wanted to permanently spend without any chance to gain back command points, we could do. So let's roll off first and then we'll add the bonus command points. So this is me and Andy. So we've got we've got 3.
I didn't bother spending command points, did I?
Right. And what have the Heretics got? So 6 and 1 and 7. So their bonus command points that they chose to spend was a total of 5. So that puts them up on 12. Our 3 gets modified to stay at 3 because we spent 0 command points. So there we go. As it stands at the moment, this team here, these guys have got first turn. However, the steal the initiative works a bit differently in this bespoke game. We can both try and steal the initiative, and whoever does gets to be the first player because it's alternating players. So we both get to roll. Andy, do you manage to steal?
I'm certainly going to try. I do.
Andy does. Do I manage to steal? I do. So we both have to roll off to see which one of us gets to steal because only one of us gets to go. So whoever gets the highest.
3.
3. It's going to be like this, isn't it?
5.
5. 4. So Custodians go first. Then once we get to the other team, they have to roll off to see who goes first for them. And then each turn as we get to it, we roll randomly. So we can't predict who's going to be first with each team. But the order of Team 1, Team 2, Team 1, Team 2 will continue right the way through. So, without any further ado, straight into movement for turn 1, player 1.
I like the waste of 5.
So, objectives for turn 1 Custodians is Supremacy, which is hold 3 objectives. Fortunately, they're already holding 2, so should be able to get a third one. Secure Objective 1, which is just there, which is the other side of this building here. So that's a no-brainer, they're already holding it. And then Mission Critical Objective and a roll of a 2. If I just pan across, Objective 2 is there. And they're already holding that as well. So this could be a good game for them, because they should be able to score these 3 objectives, which will be 2, so 1 for that one, 1 for that one, D3 for that one. And if they're holding 3 objectives, that will give them an extra 3 as well. So that'll be a good start to the game. So anyway, back to movement. So end of the movement phase, turn 1, player 1, the Custodians. The Contemptor has moved down to take objective 3 because he needs to hold 3 objectives. This small squad of 3 have moved forward just to take up a position for whatever they want to do next. The 2 vehicles have moved forward after their contents have jumped out, and we've got the bubbles around here of support, so the aura abilities. And the guy on the bike, the shield captain, has moved forward into this position. He's quite well hidden from anything coming from this direction, which is going to quite nicely allow him to jump forward in later turns. And then finally, the squad of Termes plus a shield captain have jumped into here. They're 9 inches away from the first vehicle. So that's it for movement. No psychics, so straight into shooting. So at the end of the shooting phase for Custodians turn 1, some incidental fire that came across here did no damage. A slightly different story over here, with one of the chimeras has been popped. This one's down to 4 wounds, and the Lehman Russ Punisher that was in here has been destroyed as well. So good first turn for these guys. Let's go now straight into the charge and fight phase. So the charge has been declared first of all by the squad of 3 Terminators. They've taken 1 wound on Overwatch. They now need to make a 9-inch charge to reach. Can it be done? That's an 8. No reroll?
No rerolls.
And what about the shield captain? Is he going in, or is he staying put?
Yeah, he's going in. Let's go for
So
it.
he also needs a 9.
Damn the heretics! We need to teach them a lesson.
And that's a 7. Not quite. So that's the end of player 1, turn 1. So scoring up for the Custodians, we have scored mission critical objective number 2. That's that one here. We've also got secure objective 1. That was that one there. He's holding 3 objectives, so that's 5 points so far. He's also got first strike, so that's 6 points. And holding 3 objectives for supremacy, a further D3. And it's a 3, so 9 points in turn 1. player 1. That's a really good start. Let's move on to player 2 now. So before we cut this, you two need to roll off, and whoever gets the highest is the player 2. So it's now the Talon. So objectives for the Talon on turn 1 are assassinate, kill some characters. Not impossible, but probably difficult. Secure objective 3, which is over there with the Custodians. It's not going to happen this turn. And no prisoners, which is just kill stuff. Now that's one that they're actually probably quite good at doing. And let's not forget, at the end of this turn, anything that's not been scored is automatically discarded. So let's see what happens. Okay, so end of player 2, turn 1, the Talon. The guys that were in the what's the vehicle called? Chimera?
Yeah,
have jumped out there, and the vehicle has just moved across. It's just trying to get a little bit of distance between it and the enemy. Over here, the Super Heavy, which has got the Warlord in and some troops, has moved back around to try and get the benefit of the Guilliman reroll of 1s, I think it is. This guy has moved up on top of this building, or these ruins. And these guys here, plus the third one, have moved around to give themselves a good field of fire. So that's it for movement. Let's go straight into shooting. So at the end of the shooting phase, there's some incidental fire come in and pinged off of the Ormorite armour over here. Bit more successful. The land speeder that was here and Razorback that was there have been destroyed by the combined fire of these 3 horrible tanks here. In fact, I'm glad I've come around here because I didn't notice this sneaky group of intercessors just there. That's good. Then lots of firepower from the big vehicle into the Land Raider. Being in the cover and more than 25% obscured has saved it. It's on 11 wounds remaining. So didn't quite manage to get the 3 units. So he scored no prisoners. He's got first strike and he's sitting on 2 objectives. This one here, and also there's another one somewhere just the other side of here. So that's 4 points on turn 1 for player 2. Good start. So objectives for the Crimson Fists, I've got Scour the Skies, and over there are 3 flyers. Psychological Warfare, so I'm going to try and target the Talon, I reckon. And Defend Objective 5, which is the objective behind that tree there. So I'm not going to be able to score that one. So I need to try and make at least 3, I guess, yeah, 3 lots of units fall back and fail the morale tests. That's very unlikely. So let's just kill what I can and get what I can. So turn 1 for the Crimson Fists movement, quite restricted. The squad that were blown out of this vehicle have moved across to take objective 3. The captain that was here has climbed up here to boost the rerolls on these 2 vehicles. And then this Razorback has come round to take objective 2. This Dreadnought has stayed put for now. Although I'm thinking about moving him before I finish this turn. I'll reconsider that. And Pedro Cantor and the Lieutenant, the Warlord, have stepped out of the Land Raider to boost a bubble around here. Other than that, nothing else to move. So at the end of the shooting phase, it hasn't been a good shooting phase for the Crimson Fists. I managed to bring one of these guys down to 5 wounds, and that was it. I managed to get this guy down to 5 wounds, and that was it. So that's not going to really hamper his shooting. I did manage to destroy the Chimera that was here. I've done a couple of wounds onto this Sentinel and killed 3 of the Hellblasters in there. But again, it's not enough. So I didn't get Scour the Skies, I didn't get Psychological Warfare, I didn't get Defend Objective 5, but I did hold 2 objectives and I got first strike. So that's 3 points for me. Now it's over to the last player in the Heretic army. So, objectives for the Ultra Smurfs, we have Defend Objective 6, Secure Objective 4, and Supremacy. And he's in the middle of putting everything down. So there's Secure Objective 4. Defend Objective 6 is the one just there. Try and get it to focus. Yep, just there. And Supremacy should be easy because he's dropped the Calidus in to hold this objective as well. So there we go. So end of the movement phase for the Ultra Smurfs. And the flyers have moved around. They've had all of this lot drop in support. There's is it a captain and a lieutenant in there as well? Yeah. And then across here, everything's just generally pushed forward along with Girly Man, and these guys across here, are they now holding that objective?
They are.
Yeah, they are. So they're starting to defend it. It will cost them a command point to hold on to it, to carry the actual objective marker forward. That's one of the rules for this game. But that's it, and there's an awful lot of shooting coming in now. And I think everything is now deployed on the table for all armies. So what we see now is what we get. So at the end of a brutal Ultramarines shooting phase, this Dreadnought here is down to 2. The Dreadnought that was down here is gone. The Contemptor that was here is gone, as is the squad that were nearby. The Custodians that were there are also gone. And the Land Raider that was there is also gone, and all bar one of the Space Marines, which I'll have to do a morale test for in a minute. So a lot of shooting came in. Most of this end of the table has been cleared. There's a very strong Ultramarine presence here. So that's it for this turn. We'll just pop across and see how many points were scored. So for scoring objectives, he's holding 3 of the objectives, so that scores 3. He's got first strike, that's 4. A 5th one because he's secured objective 5. He's played a command point to keep hold of defend objective 6 for his next turn. So on 5 at the moment, plus a D3 for supremacy. So another 3, so 8 points. Good first turn for the Ultra Smurfs. Okay, so turn 2, we've rolled off, and the Custodians are the first player again for this turn, and the cards gods have dumped on us. So we've got secure objective 5. Objective 5 is that one there. It's not going to happen. Defend objective 3. That's the one that the Custodians Contemptor was holding just behind there. It's not going to happen. And deliver victory, which is a Custodian special one, which you get a victory point if you score at least 1 victory point from another tactical objective. And we can't score either of these. So the only points available for us this turn are to score holding objectives, which at the moment they're holding 2, so potentially 2 points for this turn. So that's it, let's go into movement. So an addendum here, we've got a stratagem being played, Eyes of the Emperor, which allows the Custodians to discard one of these and pull a new card. Doesn't matter which one, does it? So what's the new card?
Defend objective
2, which is this one here, which technically you might be able to do. The only problem is there's all of this lot here coming in and all of this lot over here. We'll see, let's see, it's an opportunity, it's doable. So turn 2, player 1 movement. The Contemptor has moved forward slightly, it's still holding this objective, and there's been a general push forward from the Custodians, looking to try and get themselves into combat if they can. We shall see. So no psychics, straight into shooting. So at the end of the shooting phase, we've managed to kill one of these Hellblasters and take one back down to 1. And some shooting in. The intercessors that are defending, there's still one guy left in there. And there was some incidental fire, killed a couple of the Cadians. And there was a squad of 2 Hellblasters left who were just there. They're now being splashed all over the wall. Big red gory marks everywhere. So now that's the end of the shooting phase. There is potential for some assaults. So, end of the charge phase. One of the squads here made it in, and the Alaris, is it Alaris? Alaris Terminators made it in, and they have killed every single one of the Talon. I said Cadian earlier, I meant Talon. And then very cleverly, they've piled in to the intercessor here, and he's managed to strike, he's done no damage back, but most importantly they now outnumber him, so they stop him from defending here, and they also stop him from being able to fall back out of combat. So these squads here cannot be targeted in the Ultramarine shooting phase. So the question now is, does this person who's pretending to be Gulliman feel strong enough and brave enough to go in and assault these? We shall see. So that's the end of the turn for the Custodians. So scoring at the end of this turn, none of the tactical objectives have been scored. There was an option to keep hold of defending objective 2, but with all of this lot coming in, the spend of a 1 command point to hold on to it would have been probably too much, as the Custodians only have 1 command point left. However, they are now holding 1, 2, 3 objectives, so that's 3 points scored. That's not bad out of what looked like it was going to be an horrific position. However, it's now the turn of the Heretics. So roll off, guys. Who's going to be going next? 4, 2. So it's the Talon next. So the Talon have pulled objectives: defend objective 3, secure objective 5, and secure objective 1. So secure objective 5 they can do, because that's that objective just behind that tree. The other ones, 3 is just here, and the other one is down there in the midst of all of the Custodian Guard. So that's that for them. Straight into their movement. So at the end of turn 2 for the Talon, the Stormlord has moved around. He's feeling a bit braver now, and this guy has come down and is now holding objective 5. The 3 tank commanders have moved about a little bit. I'm not sure what they're going to target, but they've got a few choice ones here. So that's it. Let's do some shooting. So at the end of the shooting phase for the Talon, there's not a lot left. I have one captain on his own here, and this Razorback has been destroyed. One guy taken out of this squad of tacticals. Just feels like a lot of damage has taken place. Was there more?
A few wounds on that one.
Oh yeah, and 5 wounds on this thing here. So that's the end of the phase. Have you got any assaults that you're declaring? No. I didn't think there was. Okay, so that's that. We'll have a quick look at the scoring. Right, so scores for the Talon at the end of turn 2. They've got secure objective 5 and they're holding 2 objectives, so that's 3 points scored. Now it's over to what's left of the Crimson Fists. So the the card gods have continued to dump from a great height on the loyalists. So I've got Assassinate, Secure Objective 6 and Behind Enemy Lines. Secure Objective 6 is the one that's down behind that building. I don't have anything close. I can't kill any characters because there aren't any within range anywhere. And I'm not going to get behind enemy lines, so I've pretty much stayed still. Just moved these guys into cover here to take this objective so I can score 2 points. And the Whirlwind has moved around to there to score a point. But that's it, really. So slight addendum, I ended up moving here because we realised, it was pointed out, that this tank here is a character. So I could try and get Assassinate, but you might have noticed, still got 5 wounds. So I dished out a couple of wounds to this with the heavy bolters from down here. Other than that, I did nothing whatsoever. So I don't score Assassinate, I don't score Secure Objective 6, I do not score Behind Enemy Lines, but I'm holding 2 objectives, so that's just a measly 2 points. And now it's over to the Ultramarines. So objectives for the Ultramarines on turn 2, they still hold Defend Objective 6. They've now got for the Emperor, so an infantry or biker must make a successful charge and Assassinate, kill some characters. That's a character just there, right next to these dudes. Don't fancy his chances. So let's see what happens as they go into the movement phase. So at the end of the movement phase, this squad have moved forward to take objective 3. The intercessors have stayed put back here. Then we've got more jump pack guys here. I don't know what they're planning on doing. And some more that have moved through here behind the flyers. Both of these flyers are in hover mode now. They're looking to deal with these 2 units here. And the other flyer has scooted forward to there. And Guilliman, who we thought was going to be brave enough to go in and assault, kind of is, but he's taken half of his army with him, clearly lacking in confidence. So, psychic phase and shooting. Yes, we have to. So, Guilliman is here. Tigurius is just tried to do null zone to remove all of these invulnerable saves in the 6-inch bubble. So the Custodians have done 1 command point called a Spark of Divinity, which gives them the chance to try and deny the witch. It's been passed on a 9, so we need a 10, 11 or 12. You can do it. You can do it.
The Emperor protects. Not this time.
It's because we're the heretics.
Oh. Okay. That works then. So at the end of the shooting phase, these are both down on 3 wounds. The captain that was here is gone. The squad that was here is gone. The Razorback that was here is gone. This Razorback's on 1 wound. 1 guy out of this squad This thing's down by 1 wound, and also over here 2 wounds done on one of the Custodians. That's it. Poultry, really, he says. When you come down this end of the table, you can see a wall of blue down through the table, and unfortunately not much of it is Crimson Fists. But we do have assaults to do, so let's move across to the charge and the fight phase.
I'll go and play next turn.
Be very surprised if I did.
My captain on a bike is coming over and is going to have you.
So we have some smack talk going on. So fights have taken place. There's still one of the Aloris,
Hilarious.
whatever he is,
Hilarious,
Terminator,
yes.
the hilarious one is in there on 1 wound.
That's just disgusting.
And there's also one of the normal Custodians in there. And they've done 3 wounds to the wonderful Guilliman has been. So pretends to be whatever he is.
Pretender.
Alfarius, whatever. But either way, that's it. That's the end of that phase. Let's quickly see what points have been scored. So scoring up for the Ultra Smurfs, they have got for the Emperor. They did make a charge. They have killed a character and they're holding 4 objectives. And they're letting defend objective 6 drop. Even though they probably would be able to hold it. They've only got 1 command point left. And they want to hold that for when Guilliman dies. Because they're clearly not confident. So objectives for the Crimson Fists, because they're going first this time. We have Big Game Hunter, secure objective 6 and defend objective 4. The best we can do is get Big Game Hunter. So let's see what we can get out of this. So the Crimson Fists movement, turn 3. This one's moved across to bring it within range of this hovering Storm Talon. So that's Big Game Hunter I'm trying for. This squad have advanced across to try and grab objective 2. So we'll score a point there. And a little bit of movement around here with the characters just to try and bring them all within shooting range up here. Might be able to pick off a Hellblaster or something. But that's it. Let's do some shooting. Right, so took everything I had, but I did manage to destroy the Storm Talon here and kill 1 Hellblaster. So yeah, that was good. That was all I could do. So I scored Big Game Hunter for 1 point, and I scored 2 objectives that I'm holding, so that's 3 only. So objectives for the Ultramarines, who are going first for the Heretics this time. We have overwhelming firepower, defend objective 3 and advance. Overwhelming firepower, they've been pretty good at that every single turn. Can't imagine this is going to be any different. So board control for the Ultramarines has expanded further. These guys are planning to delete both of the land speeders. Again, a further push forward here. Days look to be numbered for this Contemptor and maybe Pedro and the squad round here. This flyer's moved about and this fight looks like it's going to be continuing. So now let's do psychics and shooting. So at the end of the shooting phase, both of the land speeders predictably are gone. So is the Contemptor, and there's 1 man left here. Also 3 wounds dished out to this. Surprisingly, this one's still alive. I'm not quite sure why. Probably because it didn't do anything last turn, so they don't care about it. And the damage done over here. Is there anyone left in there still?
1 Custodian.
1 Custodian. And that's it. So that's the end of the shooting phase. Assaults. So at the end of the phase, they score 4 points for holding objectives. They've not managed to advance or defend objective 3, but they have got overwhelming firepower for D3. So another 2, so that's 6 points scored. So the objectives for the Custodians are defend objective 1, can't do because the card goes at the end of the turn. Overwhelming firepower, yes, can kill stuff. And keep them at spear's length, which is to kill stuff basically and keep it away from you, so over 3 inches away from you. Problem is, this is a close combat army, so they kind of want to be in there and cutting things into little tiny pieces. But hey ho, that's where we are. Let's see what can be done. So movement, we have a Land Raider here that's moved and 1 here that's moved around. These guys have repositioned, as have this guy and this guy. That is the sum total now of the Custodian army, and this is the sum total of the Crimson Fist army. It's not looking very good, is it? Okay, end of the shooting phase, and the Storm Raven has been brought to 4 wounds, and there's 3 wounds taken off the Storm Talon, some Intercessors finished off, and a couple of Hellblasters destroyed in there. So that's it for now. But we do have an assault phase to complete. So at the end of the assault phase, the shield captain on the bike pulled that thing out of the sky quite easily, doing 14 wounds to it, I think, which is just crazy. You have scored overwhelming firepower. You would start defending objective 1, but we've got no command points left to hold on to the card. So that's it, just the 1 point scored for overwhelming firepower and 1 for holding objective 1 with the Land Raider. So objectives for the Talon now on their turn 3 is secure objective 6, 5 and 4. 6 is a no-go, but 4 and 5 they're sat on it, so it should be a doddle. So the tank commanders have started to move forward, 1 staying back to hold objective 4. The tank has moved forward and advanced, and with its Talon rules apparently will now be able to shoot its weapons as assault weapons. Excuse the dog doing a runner. It's made sure it's the closest model to Pedro Cantor. It fancies its chances at killing him. We'll see. So at the end of the shooting phase, the Whirlwind has been taken down to 4 wounds. There's been 1 die from this squad killed, and all of this lot and this shot. Pedro's still alive on 3 wounds. He's feeling cocky. The Razorback that was here has been destroyed. Was that here this turn? Yeah, it was. He's feeling cocky, but apparently there's a stratagem about to be played that allows this thing to hit him and hurt him and do all sorts of nasties. But that's it for the end of the shooting phase. And as expected, Pedro Cantor is underneath the tracks at the moment, being ground into pulp. However, I'm sure the Apothecarian will be able to save him, and it's consolidated into this squad. That is the end of the Talon turn 3. So, throwing away secure objective 6, scoring objective 4 and 5. He's also holding 2 objectives and slay the Warlords. That's 5 points scored. Good turn for the Talon. So, the card gods have continued to dump on the Imperium forces. With the Custodians getting secure objective 6, Warzone secure, which is hold at least 3 objectives, and defend objective 4. Can't score any of those. The best we can do is hold an objective for 1 point. So at the end of the movement phase, the Land Raiders have moved forward. These guys have moved forward. It turns out that there is a chance that they can score objective 6 for an extra point. That would be a moral victory if we do. Let's get some shooting done next. So the Land Raiders did a nice job of taking down the Storm Raven. There's also been some Hellblasters and Intercessors killed within this building, but there is assaults to come now. So at the end of the assault phase, it went slightly well but slightly badly. Guilliman managed to gloriously intervene, and there's just the Dawn Eagle jet bike left. However, we did secure objective 6 and hold objective 6, and yeah, that's 3 points scored. So, Master the Walks, Blood and Guts, and secure objective 5. These are easily achieved by the Ultramarines, unfortunately. As my brother just said, probably the best set of cards that they could possibly have. Buggers. So, end of turn 4 movement for the Ultramarines, and this is where they are. They've moved forward. You've got Guilliman and Tigerius are here in the building looking to do some more damage, and they've just carried on holding objectives to score as many points as possible. So very limited shooting to be done in this turn because everything's either dead or locked in combat. So a Hellblaster just did 2 wounds onto the Land Raider. Guilliman fired at the Dawn Eagle jet bike guy inside there. But he made all of his armour saves. So going straight into assaults now. And as to be expected, Guilliman, who's still inside that building, killed the shield captain on the Dawn Eagle jet bike. So that's it for turn 4 for the Ultramarines. Let's just have a quick look at what they've scored.
You want to say it?
Yeah, so Master the Warp.
Yeah.
So you've got Master the Warp off. Blood and Guts, you killed something in combat, and you've secured objective 5. So that's 3 points.
Plus 1, 2, 3, 4.
You've got nothing but objective secure.
4 points.
So 4 points, that's 7 points, and Slay the Warlord, that's 8. So the Crimson Fists have pulled Supremacy, Defend Objective 3, and Kingslayer. And the Crimson Fist army contingent consists of a lieutenant, an apothecary, and 3 space marines, supported by a whirlwind, and that's it. Let's see what magic we can do. So that was the combined turn for everything that the Crimson Fists could do. I managed to shoot with a pistol and do 1 wound, and then the same guy cut a corner of a track off for another wound off of this super heavy tank. In return, it mullered the lieutenant. So all I score this turn is 1 point for this thing holding objective 1. So objectives for the Talon, they have area denial, secure objective 2 and defend objective 2. So they won't be able to do defend objective 2 because they haven't got any command points left. However, they will secure objective 2 and they will get the full D3 victory points for area denial. So at the end of the turn 4 for Talon, we've combined everything in and we have just the apothecary left on 3 wounds and the whirlwind left on 1 wound. And 5 wounds on the second Land Raider that have been done to it. And that is the end of the turn for these guys. Let's see what they managed to score. So they've scored secure objective 2. They've got area denial for D3. How many we get for that one? So 3, so that's 4. And holding 1, 2, 3 objectives. So 7 points scored. So Custodians are next. They've got secure objective 2, 3 and big game hunter. It is possible that they could kill one of the tanks over here. But this is turn 5 and we're at 47 points to 26. So it's almost a guaranteed win for the Chaos Heretics. However, there's a bit of pride to be done. So we're going to try and clear out the Ancient, which is hidden in behind that wall there, and then the next closest model is Guilliman, so we're going to try and kill him. So the Ancient has been shot down by the damaged Land Raider, which is here, and now this Land Raider is going to be firing at Guilliman. So we haven't done much in the way of dice rolling on camera today because it's such a long game, but let's do these ones. Let's see if we can do it. What's firing first?
So 6 shots from heavy bolters, hitting on 2s. That's 6 hits.
All hits.
What's this? 6.
So
5s to wound. Just one
wound.
Yes.
Saves that.
Las cannon, love.
4 hits. 3s to wound. 3 wounds in. 3 up in longs.
Oh, 666.
What can you say?
That's been this game.
It has been this game. At the end of the Custodians' turn, all they did was hold objective 1, so that was 1 point scored. Talon objectives are secure objective 1, secure objective 4 and overwhelming firepower. So at the end of the Talon phase they have wiped the Crimson Fists off the face of the battlefield. Good job they weren't Alpha Legion, or were Alpha Legion, I'm not quite sure. I've lost track who's the good guys and who's the bad guys now. But they are gone. And they've also destroyed one of the Land Raiders. This one is on 15 wounds remaining, so it's still strong, but the amount of firepower coming in is just going to be too much. So scoring wise, they've got overwhelming firepower for D3, so 3 points. They're holding 2 objectives, that takes them up to 5, and they've also secured objective 4, so that's 6 points scored. Now it's straight into the Ultramarines because the Crimson Fists are gone. So again, the cards are good for the Ultramarines. They have psychological warfare. Well, there's nothing left to make run. However, they do get behind enemy lines and big game hunter. And Guilliman is on his way in over there, charging through the building. You can just see him there, heading for the lone Land Raider. So we're at the end of the shooting phase. Guilliman shot out the Custodian who was there after a null zone took away his invuln save. He's now declared a charge against the Land Raider who's on 15 hit points still, or 15 wounds. Overwatch.
Twin heavy bolters.
1 hit. 5 to wound.
No wound.
No wound there. Now the ones that matter. 4 6s coming up. Just the one. Come on. It's a wound. 3 up in Voln. It's a fail.
Got to roll a 6.
3 wounds. Gulliman's down to 3 wounds.
The dice is there.
Does he make the charge?
6 inches needed.
Yeah.
And he's in. We'll carry on and film the rest of this now. So, how many attacks does he get?
6. 8 2s. He's sent 8. So he's rolling
Plus
8 balls.
3.
Rerolling fails. So
four
D3 mortal
wounds.
wounds.
So,
Plus
how many mortal wounds then?
4 6-ups for the armor saves.
So armour saves.
How save 2?
Make 2.
So it's 2.
Do I ignore those? Do how many damage each?
3 each, so 6 total.
So the
6
first
total.
one
Ignores 1.
So that's 2. The second one.
Ignores 1. So 4 wounds taken so far. So he's down
D3
to.
damage, mortal
11.
wounds. 1 more mortal wound.
So down to 10 wounds. But not
Don't
ignored.
ignore
He's alive.
Well, sorry, yeah, 11 wounds.
Now 10.
Now 10.
10.
Do you want to attack back?
Yeah, go on.
See if you can dish out 3 wounds. So it'd be 3 attacks. Triple 6 would be nice.
6 attacks.
6 attacks. Wow.
Aim for 6s to hit.
Oh, there's 2.
Strength 8.
2 wounds.
No.
2 saves. Okay, let's score this one up. So, thank you. So, no psychological warfare, no big game hunter, but behind enemy lines scored for D3. So 2 points scored there, plus holding 1, 2, 3, 4 objectives. So that's 6 points. So does the game end on a 1 or a 2? It does. So that's a final score of lots. How many did you get in that last turn? I haven't added it on yet. 6.
6.
So that's 59 points to 27. Well done, guys. The youngsters are victorious. That must be the luck of the youth, I reckon.
Bragging rights.
Yeah, bragging rights.
Right, yeah.
So, I hope you've enjoyed this one. We will have another battle report up in a week. See you soon.